What's up, guys? Today we're going to make some more progress on the S14. Right now I'm just about ready to mate the transmission back up to the engine and get all this put back into the car. In the last video I had mentioned that I needed to take some measurements before I could get all this stuff put back together, but I just got that done. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys what I had to do. If you look right here, we have our twin disc clutch from Clutch Masters, and that is bolted up to our custom flywheel. I got all of the flywheel bolts torqued down, got some Loctite on there so those guys don't come loose. And by torqued down, I mean I used my 1/2-inch Milwaukee impact on the number 2 setting and ran them down, gave them a good couple uggas, so those guys shouldn't go anywhere. Clutch is on, all lined up, ready to go. And if you look right here in the transmission, we have our hydraulic throwout bearing ready to go. We have these 2 hydraulic lines coming off of that. I just got those guys tightened on there. And this one will be going to our existing master cylinder that is inside the car, just to the factory one. And then this right here is just a bleeder to bleed everything. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Everything's ready to go. Like I said, I just had to get the shimming done behind that throwout bearing right there to make sure that we had the right distance from the face of this to the face of these fins right here. They said to give it anywhere from a 1 to 3 millimeter gap, so I measured for that, and I have shim sitting behind that guy to get everything lined up. And yeah, I just did that, so we are ready to put the transmission back onto the engine here, get it all bolted together, and start getting this thing put back into the car. I got the transmission bolted back up to the engine, but I actually just pulled the bolts back out because I gotta take this apart to clearance some things for the starter. I never noticed this before, but if you look through the starter hole down here, you can see the bell housing of the transmission is right in the way for a starter. You can see how close it is to the flywheel there. There's no way a starter is going to fit in there with its gear and everything. And I talked to the guys over at Inline and they said I do have to clearance some of that out. So it looks like it's sort of a 2-piece thing going on here. It's thick down here and thin up here, and there's like a space in between that. And it's looking like I could just cut off this upper piece and maybe shave down some of this thicker stuff down here. But this top one has to go. And then if you look over here at the starter, it looks like I'll be able to like maybe shave the back side of this and just kind of meet in the middle on both of them, because I would like to not completely just cut a hole out on the bottom, help keep, you know, dust and stuff from getting in there. But I am going to have to clearance some things to make that starter fit, and I did not notice that before. But yeah, that's part of the process. So I'm gonna pull this back off, and I have to go get some power tools. So while I'm out, I'm gonna go ahead and drop off the head for the MR2 at a machine shop, and hopefully that can get done the next couple days so I can start getting the MR2 back together. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep on going on this thing. The goal is to try to have the engine in the car by the end of the day. So we'll see how far we can get. So I got the head dropped off for the MR2, and like I said, we are gonna need some new exhaust valves. And normally I would order them through Real Street. I've been going with them for all the parts I need on the MR2 for quite some time now. And normally I'd have to wait a few days before I could get that stuff. But now that we're here in Florida, I can just show right up and pick them up same day. So we're over here in the back in the warehouse section of Real Street Performance.
What's up, guys?
This is Hans. I've been talking to him for a long time, ever since I first got the MR2 build going.
Yeah.
And they sent that original shipment of parts out, and we put her together, and I've been getting parts from you guys ever since. So they are, you know, getting me some new valves. You can see they have plenty in stock. They got pretty much anything you need as far as engine parts. You can even see they stock K-Tune stuff as well. And
factory skunk to any of the Honda brands that are big, we always try to keep on the shelf, or worst case it's only ever like 5 to 7 business days away at the longest.
yeah, so anything we will need, we can always come down here and pretty much just pick it up.
You guys can just come shopping.
Yeah, this is awesome. Got all the turbos.
We can ship same day. We stock the turbine housings and supercore separately, so if you want a weird turbine housing, chances are we have it on the shelf. We can assemble it and ship it same day.
Dang.
And then, you know, we of course do Garrett, Borg, Zona Rotor, all the other people too. Precision's just what we stock, super heavy. Yeah, these are like the pro mods, like 8385, 7275, stuff like that.
It's wild. They got so much stuff over here. Got all kinds of bearings, oil pumps. You guys are ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. You gotta be. Everyone wants the stuff next day.
Yep. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, all the other brands, BC, CP, Carrillo, Manly, pretty much everything, dude. Like anything sport compact, and even modern domestic stuff like LS stuff I personally am pretty fluent in. So anything really, we'll make it happen.
Nice. Just got a Mclaren chilling on the dyno. I've seen a lot of dyno videos of cars in here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually, besides the sound ordinance thing, we built the booth really nice so that we could film in it and actually have it look nice too. Yeah, like when a car's on the dyno in here, except for like when we put the supers on there, they're making like well over 1,000. You can't really hear them inside. Like if you put a 500 horsepower Evo on here, for example, you wouldn't hear it inside. Like this room's pretty soundproof.
Yeah, this is a nice little dyno setup.
Yeah.
Got to come down here and check out Real Street Performance, and we have our new exhaust valves ready to go. I just went ahead and got all 8. Just go ahead and replace that whole side, make sure we are good to go, and we can bring these back to the machine shop and get everything put back together.
That third one was bent too, but I did put it straight. That's the one that was from that cylinder.
That was one from number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really bent.
Oh yeah. I mean, they are the stronger valves, so it's kind of, I wouldn't think the heat would have did it, but you never know. I guess if it did go lean, maybe it, that's another one probably from that cylinder. Got bad there.
Yep, so you think those 2 were from that number 2 cylinder?
Yeah, the worst ones were from that cylinder, but the rest did have,
and then there's others that were tweaked too.
Oh yeah.
But just number 2 is the most obvious.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, that's not good either.
I know there was one good one, this one a bad one. There was 2 bad here. Probably one good, one bad, one good, one bad.
Dang.
Pretty much, so that's pretty much what it is.
So it was a good thing I just went ahead and got all of them.
Yeah, honestly, because by the time you try to mend the other ones, it's just not gonna hold up.
So I just clearanced the bottom of the bell housing there, and then I also clearanced a lot off the back of the starter. You can actually see it went all the way through. So now we should hopefully be able to put our starter on, because now we have that little spot for clearance. All right, I just got the transmission bolted back up, and now we have plenty of room for our starter. We go ahead and stick that guy up in there. It is not hitting on anything, and it goes all the way down in there, so we are good to go. Another thing is I got the oil pan back on, and there was actually these 2 ears that I had to cut off the bottom of it. There was one right here like that, and then this guy was on there, something like that. This one actually didn't need to go. It was really just this inside one, and that is because it was in the way of these starter bolt holes right here. So that is something they told me I needed to do, was cut off this ear of the oil pan. So I just got that done, so now we can bolt the starter up. And the reason there are 2 bolt holes here is for 2 different flywheel sizes. The lower one is for a K-series flywheel ring gear, and that's what I'm using, and the upper one is for an S2000 ring gear. So since we're using the K-series one, we are going to use these bottom bolt holes and be good to go there. So I also had to get some spacers made for the starter as well. If you guys remember, I had the wrenches shoved in there to space it back some, and I just got these made to replace those. And the starter should be good to go. I did talk to Clutch Masters, and they can actually make me a custom one in the future if I need to. Now that I know where the starter needs to go, they can actually space that ring gear back for me on the flywheel 5/8 of an inch inside, so I don't even have to use spacers. But for right now, we're gonna use the spacers. It'll work just fine. And yeah, let's get the starter on there. I don't have all of the oil pan bolts. I just realized as well, I left those back in Colorado, so I'm gonna have to track down some more of those. But I'm gonna stick the starter on for now and try to stuff everything back into the car, even though I'm gonna have to crawl back under there anyways to take this apart and silicone the pan back on. But I just wanna get it all up in there and see how everything is fitting. Turns out the Ace hardware here is actually open an hour later than the one back at home, so I did not think I would have time to get the oil pan bolts today, but I just went and picked those up real quick. So I will be able to put the oil pan on, get it all sealed up before I put it in the car, which will be a lot easier to do that now. And before I do that, I want to show you guys the starter again. So you guys saw me do this before, but I got it put back together with everything now installed, and you can hear her turn over. Oh yeah, so that is good to go. Just need to seal up that pan, put it all back together, and we can stick this thing back into the car. Check it out, the S14 has an engine again. I crawled under the car, got the transmission bolted back up as well, and this is the first time I have the shifter fully installed, so it is ready to bang some gears. And yeah, now that the engine is back in the car, we are ready to install some aftermarket goodies that I got for this thing. I've been waiting to do this until I got everything figured out with the clutch and transmission and the starter, you know, make sure all that stuff's good to go back in the car. But now that that's out of the way, we are getting rid of this factory J-Series intake manifold right now. It is loose, and here in a little bit, I'm getting ready to pull that guy off, because over here we have our new intake manifold for the car. So this right here is a Holley plenum. This is the part number 300-218. This is the same Holley plenum that Brent has on the Bully engine, which is actually now on the Bat Rod. So freaking beautiful piece. And that is going to replace our ugly factory J-Series manifold. And then to go along with that, we have this kit from P2R Racing. So this plate right here, check that out, guys. First of all, that is freaking beautiful. This plate will bolt on in place of the intake manifold that we have on there now, and then that Holley plenum will actually bolt on top of this, and you know, we'll be ready to rip with our new intake manifold. So with the plate, we got a gasket. We got the gasket for that guy over there. We have a throttle body gasket in this baggie, and that will go on right there. Another thing is I am gonna have to track down a GM style throttle body. They do offer an adapter plate, so you can use the factory J-Series throttle body, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get the bigger aftermarket, like Chevy throttle body or whatever, and I am gonna have to switch map sensor stuff. So that'll come later on, but yeah, full kit from P2R, comes with all of the hardware to put this intake manifold on. Even came with a badass poster. Dang. That's nice. So all the necessary fittings, vacuum lines, whatever, and we're ready to go, boys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the stock intake ripped off and start seeing what I need to do to install that. And that's probably gonna be it for tonight, because man, guys, this thing was fighting me all day, but you know, we got it in the car and we're not done yet. That intake looks so good on there, so much better than the factory one. And this is my first Holley product, probably won't be the last. People are probably gonna confuse this for an LS swap, but nope, it is just a Holley intake plenum on top of a Honda V6. That looks so good in there. And there's one thing I wanna do real quick. Oh shoot, check it out. I had to mock up the twin turbos in the engine bay real quick after I put the new intake manifold on. I just had to see what this was starting to look like, and that is looking awesome. I've been waiting to put the Holley intake on for quite some time now, and today was the perfect day to do it. Got the transmission and clutch knocked out, the throwout bearing, oil pan starter. Got so much done today on the car, and there's still a lot more to get done, but I am really happy with the progress I made on this thing so far. So that looks so freaking good. Definitely need to get some mirrored turbos, but for now, you know, got to work with what we got. These will do just fine, and man, I'm really excited for this build, guys. Hopefully I can have this thing running somewhat soon. There's a lot of little other things I need to get buttoned up. I didn't even actually bolt the intake all the way down. There's like vacuum fittings and stuff that I need to get all figured out. So there's no point to get this bolted down just yet, but it is coming, making more progress. And now it will be trying to get everything it needs to run, figure out the steering rack, and keep going from there. But there she is, boys. Hope you guys enjoyed the progress on this so far, and that is going to do it for today. So we'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching.